scholarship. We know that negative impact of studying abroad from scholarship. Sometimes you leave your family behind, and when you go outside for education, it can also stretch the mind, but it can also stretch the soul to working. Many students struggle with academic pressure that caused by entering the teaching system, language barriers, and also grading systems and grading styles that punish adjustment instead of nurturing growth. The result, declining performance, delayed graduation, or loss of scholarship altogether. There is also the quiet enemy called isolation. When somebody go outside South Sudan or anywhere else, isolation becomes a negative. When you live far away from the family, culture, and emotional support, the student often face loneliness, depression, and also cultural shock. When the mind is heavy, learning becomes harder and the scholarship rarely wait for healing. Financial restraints is another truth we avoid. The scholarship often cover incomes that survive high living costs, currency differences, and a lot of things. And limited work opportunity puts students into stress, debt, or even legal work, all of which damage the all these things also used to weaken national stability when the crisis repair. Local institutions lost mentors, recyclers, and future leaders. This brings likely broke countries into progress. This conversation today is not to discourage ambition, but to demand awareness. Studying abroad is powerful, yes, but without preparation, support, and clear purpose, it can break more than it builds. Let's talk today to think deeper. Let's choose wisely and follow our calling podcast today so that we have a lot of discussions via Dr. Ngong, who will elaborate more on this topic. So, Dr. Ngong, you're highly welcome to our call podcast, and we need to discuss this as one of the person that is having experience of a scholarship, because you are now studying in Egypt. There are a lot of problems that you might have encountered, and you might be seeing other people around you there. You also happen to be a leader of South Sudanese medical student in Egypt, so you know how they are living. So we need you to tell us how is a scholarship sometime if you leave your area of origin, like you leave South Sudan for Egypt. So what are the difficulties that you have come across? Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, my brother Carl. I am happy to be here again with you today. My name is Ngong Atama Carl Ngong. I am a medical student studying in Egypt in the University of Suez. First of all, I appreciate you for bringing me back again today to have some discussions on the scholarship program being offered to South Sudanese outside, and the negative part of the scholarships that we get to foreign countries. And we will as well speak on the positivity, the positive parts of it too, because whatever thing we do always has the negative part and the positive part. Studying in a foreign country, it's actually it's something I can say it has 70% of negativity and 30% of positivity. Depending on the country you've gone to, I will speak on the experience I got from here in Egypt, because I am one of the students who got a scholarship back home in 2021 by then to come to Egypt to study on the scholarships. And I have experienced a lot. I've experienced a lot of good things and a lot of bad things about studying in a foreign country, a country that is not your own. To begin, all my references will be from Egypt, all that I am experiencing and all that the students are experiencing from here in Egypt. And the rest can also relate, because those have gone to Malaysia, those have gone to Morocco, South Africa, and other countries that offer the scholarship to South Sudanese have also experienced their own, the negative part of being in a foreign country. The first is always the language barrier, especially if you've gone to a country that speaks a language that is not spoken in your country. Yes, we understand South Sudan it's a country that speaks English. The second language, the second official language in the country right now is English, and this is the language that is used in colleges, in primary school, secondary school for communication. And as a result, we consider ourselves an English-speaking country. And if you happen to go to a country that does not speak English, country that does not teach in English, this will be the first and the major problem that you will face, the language barrier. It's a challenge that most of us, almost 90% of South Sudanese who come to Egypt face because we do not know Arabic. You may be knowing this little Arabic of Juba, but it's really not helping here at all. It's not helping in Egypt because the Arabic that is being spoken in Egypt it's even different from the one that is spoken in Sudan. And as a result, it becomes so challenging to adapt to the environment where you have problem with the language because whatever thing you do, it's made effective by the communication. And communication is when you are able to understand the language. But if you don't understand the language, then definitely you will have a lot of problems. This is one major issue. When I came to Egypt in 2021, I was actually totally green in Arabic, and I can say up to now I'm still green in Arabic because Egyptians are these people who have their culture that's different, like they don't interact, and to learn the language always. This needs interaction, an open interaction where you're allowed to mix freely with the native speakers of that country. But here in Egypt, it's different. You cannot interact openly with Egyptians. Yes, there are a few of them whom you can reach out to, talk to, and then but not that deep, not like in Uganda, not like Kenya, not like any other country, where open interaction is allowed. Coming to Egypt in 2021, when I am totally green, do not know Arabic, a very challenging experience in my life, and given the fact that the lectures are being explained in Arabic in most of the colleges in Egypt, there are some specific universities that only explain in English in a system that is designed for international students. But there are some universities that do not have this system. Almost 80% of Egyptian universities do not have international system for international students. And as a result, many students who come from countries that do not speak Arabic suffers a lot. This is the first and the most important thing that many students who come from outside face in a country like Egypt, as well as any other country that also do not speak English. This is number one thing. The second thing is the culture. Culture is very important. It's something we underrate, but it is a very important thing that if you are traveling to a country that you've never been to before, then it's important that you get yourself familiar with the culture, how people live in that country, how they do their things, and a lot of other stuff. This is another thing that many students who go to foreign countries face mostly. Let's come to Egypt. In Egypt, number one example I will give is that there is no open interaction in their culture. There's nothing like a boy and a girl coming together to have open interaction, have a very close discussion or something like that. There's nothing like that at all.
But
does this mean
that there is
there is
a racist or what?
There is a racist or what?
Yes, I can say that, and I can in the context of the culture, it's not racism, but it's their culture that does not allow a female child and a male to have that close connection, a close relationship where they stay together and maybe have other different things. It's something that is not permitted here at all. Their culture does not allow this. And therefore, if you come from a country like South Sudan, where it's open, country like Kenya, country like Sudan, country like Uganda.
What about in schools? Now you used to stay in university, so you might be having a colleague, maybe they are ladies, and of course, yes, if it is outside the area, then that is of course, it might be the problem. But somebody that you are in school together, does this mean that you don't even interact with them, you don't even talk to them to have some conversations and so? Is this how is this culture,
Yes,
by the way?
yes. That's how it is. If you are in the same class, if you are in the same level, a class is always divided into two. There is a part for ladies and there is part for men. And there is nothing that will ever bring you to that side where there are ladies. You can never get there at all. It's something that's not allowed in the country like Egypt, you know. And then interacting, like you will be having WhatsApp groups, you will be having Telegram groups. But if you want to understand something, you have to make sure that the person you are reaching out to is a male. Okay, sometimes if you reach out to a female, they can understand, they can reply you. But some are arrogant. Some will be like, "Why are you texting me? This is not allowed in our culture. You cannot interact with me. It's not possible." So from there, you will apologize that I'm sorry, I didn't know. I come from a country where interaction is open, regardless of the gender. You know, this is it. This is a very important thing. But I'm not saying that it there are no guys who can actually allow this. There are some few who are informed, those who understand the situation. If you reach out to someone, definitely they will answer you. They will give you what you want. If it's something you want to understand, something related to college, they will answer you. But there's nothing beyond that. You cannot have a phone call. It's not allowed. It's a big no. So you cannot have a phone call with someone, a female child from Egypt as a foreigner, just wanted to confirm something or talking about other stuff that are non-college related things. So this is a big thing, and it's something that each one of us must get to know when you are coming to a foreign country or a country like Egypt. So culture is different in so many ways. Another important thing is the religion of that specific country you are going to. Coming to Egypt here, the first thing you will always be asked when you meet an Egyptian is whether you are Christian or not. I mean, whether you're Muslim or not. They'll be like, "Are you Muslim?" You say no. They'll even ask why. Why are you not Muslim? You see? So, yeah, this it's somehow radical. That one, the question they ask. You see?
Okay.
So they will always want to know your religion, and it is sound not important actually
But
to know.
but
It's
if you
not
say
important.
if you say I'm Muslim, what will they say?
Yeah, they will consider you their own because you are of the same religion, and maybe yeah, they will value you more than someone who's a Christian.
Okay, okay,
Yeah.
brother, Dr. Ngong. Of course, yes, you have really tell us. You know, I don't know this culture of Egyptians. You know, I don't know how they behave and so forth. I've just seen them online and so. But one thing that come in my mind is racism because they are racist. This is what I see from them. Even the Sudanese, they use also to. There is also xenophobia that I have seen long time ago. Egyptian, of course, yes, they are good. There are some part that they are good at, and there are some part that they are not good at. And I think you will also tell us some of the part that Egyptians are good at. Let's say in interactions and so. And we have also seen now there is a big problem because if you don't interact with the female lady, sometimes it is really very hard. Okay, there are some information that you want to understand from the culture, and you need to understand the culture in two-way scenario. You want to understand from the male, you need also to understand from the female. And this is an
Right.
interactions which is really good enough for you to understand exactly how people behave in a given country. But now in Egypt, it become a different thing. You only interact with the male, but you don't interact with the female. So you start understanding male more than female, and you don't understand the other part. Of course, yes, this will bring us into a Sharia law. Maybe they are applying that where females are undermined. And in if you go to Middle East, the same culture is being applied the same because they don't value lady more than a male. And this thing is really bad, of course. Yes, it's something that we don't have in South Sudan and the West. We don't have this culture of neglecting everybody. We always say all people are equals in the face of God, and that is the thing that we are still moving with now. I want you to tell us some of the cultural backgrounds, bad culture and a good culture. And I think you touch some part of the bad culture of the Egyptians. You've really said something which is nice. Even if I go to Egypt, I will also have this in my mind that Dr. Ngong one day told me this, and he said this, and he said this about Egyptians. So I have to understand. Can you tell us some of the parts as students studying there in Egypt? What are the culture that you have learned? A culture that if you come to South Sudan, so you're going to miss it. You will miss it for good. I want you to tell us that culture. Again, uh, of course, yes, since you left South Sudan, maybe you left it for studies, and we have many peoples that go to to Egypt or outside the country, and then they don't used to come back. They used to stay there for long. Some people even don't have hesitation to come back and visit the family, and so after they graduate. So what does it mean? Does it mean that culture is good there, or is it an adaptation that they have adapted? So I want you to tell me these two things, and then we move forward. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you very much. This is a good thing. Just as I said before, that everything has both sides, the bad side and the good side. The good part of Egypt, or the good culture of Egypt, is actually there are so many things to say about Egypt. There are so many good things to say about Egypt. Actually, the first thing I would like to say is that mm, the most important thing that I've learned in Egypt here is uh, minding your own business, like to mind your own business, to focus on yourself. You see, and not focus on others. This is one thing I've learned with Egyptian actually. If you come to Egypt today, you could find another Egyptian doing other radical things on the way. And then there is someone who's just moving. They don't want to know what's happening. You're just focusing on something that's benefiting you in your own way. You cannot be stopped by anything that is happening on the way as you are going for work. Because for them, you believe in your own, and you believe that each man and whoever that is an Egyptian must always work to make sure that you get what you eat. There is nothing like dependency, where you depend on your brother, where you depend on your mother, your father, and all this. As long as you reach the age of 18 years, there is nothing like sense of entitlement, where you believe that what belongs to your mother is your own, what belongs to your dad is your own, and all this. This is one thing, one good thing I've learned in Egypt. And if our people take this, if the rate of dependency that we have right now in the country of South Sudan is stopped, then we will become young people who are able to work, young people who are self-dependent, who will be able to work on their own and will be able to take care of their families. So this is one thing I've learned about Egypt. They being independent, independency actually at your elder age. It's a very important thing, I can say. And another thing I also know about Egyptians, one good part about them is that Egyptian cannot, if you don't ask them, they will not ask you. If you don't touch them, they will not touch you. If you don't insult them, they will not insult you. Okay, there are some reckless people. There are some people on the street who sometimes talk anyhow. They find you and they start insulting you because of your skin color being black. They will start talking negative about you. But I can say in most part of Egypt, almost 80%, no one will question you on the way. No one will even want to know what you're up to and all this. There are people who are very helpful. If you want to know something, they will guide you. They will help you to find it out. The only thing that is there is that our South Sudanese people, they have some negative information about Egypt, negative information about Egyptian at home, which is not there. Egyptian, I can say they are good people, but there are bad people here. Why do we think Egyptians are bad people? It is because where we live are areas weak and poor. as a South Sudanese, if you come to Egypt, let's say, area of the low socio-economic status is where we always have these people who are stubborn, these street boys, people who will always want to know you, they want to question you, some nonsense. Why are you black? Why are you like this? And a lot of nonsense. But if you happen to stay in other cities where people are civilized, you will never know the bad part of Egypt. You will never know the bad part of Egyptians. So we are able to know that Egyptians are bad because we stay in areas that our money can afford. And these areas, there are the wrong Egyptians in these areas actually. People who are also poor like you. And these are the people who will start the negativity against you. But in some cities where people are civilized, there's nothing like that. So I can say Egyptians are good people. They are people who will never ask you if you don't ask them. And they can never do anything negative about it. One thing that's exceptional is if you happen to come into problem with one of them, if you find one Egyptian, just know that any Egyptian, anyone on the way will come and find you. Anyone, whether he's related to that person or not, they will all find you. They'll beat you. So this.
But why?
It just, this is how they are brought up. They are made to love their country actually, and this is another positive thing I've learned about them: loving your country, to be proud of your country, regardless of whatever bad thing that's happening within your country. Be proud of your country. This is another important thing.
But what if another Egyptian is fighting with another Egyptians?
And that's their own. They will not enter. No one will get involved in that situation. But a foreigner fighting an Egyptian, that's red flag. It's a big no to them. So you cannot fight one of them and then they say, no, it's not possible. So it's not possible at all. Yeah, another thing I would like to make clear to our people is the issue of, people have been saying that if you come to Egypt when you're sick, they will take your organs. You say stealing of organs and all this. I want to say this is not actually, it's not something that's legal in Egypt. I can say, I am very sure it's not something that's legal in Egypt, and they don't allow that, and it's not commonly practiced. What is happening with our the screening, why it is important to always go to hospital and find out the disease that is with you in the earlier stage. Many people in our country, they will leave the disease until disease itself complicates in your body to reach a stage where it cannot be cured. And in that situation, if you are brought to Egypt in a state where you're almost dying, there's nothing Egyptian doctors can do if if you reach a state that is hard to be handled again. Look at the situation where you're coming with a liver cancer, a liver disease that is already complicated into a liver cancer. Now in this situation, how can you be cured again? At that stage, you cannot be cured. The only way is just to die peacefully. There's nothing else that can be done. This is what I've learned with our people in the country. You will be at home with a chronic disease with you, but you do not know that you have this disease. When the disease itself starts to manifest, you are already in a state where the disease cannot be cured. Now what will happen? You will die. If you die, people at home in South Sudan will be like, oh, Egyptians have killed my father, they've killed my daughter, they've killed my mother, and all this. No, this is not the case. There is no hospital, good hospital in Egypt that will allow this practice where they will take your organ. No. Secondly, most of the hospitals here that Europeans used to go to, these are international hospitals. You see, there are big hospitals where we have people from Germany, Americans, and doctors from Spain and other countries working in that particular hospitals. There are also some big hospitals where Egyptians are working in, and these are private hospitals. In private hospitals, there is nothing like that. You will be handled with a very good care, whatever thing you want, as long as you pay the money, they will do it. You will get the doctor that you want. So There is nothing like that in the hospital. You can only find it outside. Let's say if you move recklessly, you may meet with wrong people who will take you, maybe arrest you. They do whatever thing they want to do. If they kill you, people will be like, okay, maybe they've taken this organ and this organ. You see. So on criminal basis, it is there, but it's not something that is legal, and it's not something that you can never find in any hospital. So this is what I would like to clarify to our South Sudanese at home. Yeah, you
Okay,
can come up with
and what about the issue of people staying there for a long time? Like we have now many students that happen to be there in Egypt, and they used to go from South Sudan here. Maybe you have taken the scholarship from the government, or maybe your family has sponsored you to go for the studies in abroad. And when you go to Egypt or you go to any other country, sometimes you may find yourself with a good culture, and with a good culture, you don't want to come back again to South Sudan. So you just stay there without even coming back and visiting your family, without even coming back and see. I think you need also to talk about this now. Of course, yes, it might be a personal responsibility to come back or to stay there based on the environment, but we don't know what are the causes of all this. Why do people stay there? Now, I have some of the guys that I know, my colleague, they went there since, but they have never come back after now. So I don't know, is it is it because Egypt is good, or what is the problem? Of course, yes. This is one. Again,
mm,
you know, in any
okay.
environment, when you go, like I'm here now in Egypt, I mean I'm here now in South Sudan, if I happen to travel or go to Egypt, so I have a connections. These connections are now existing now in Juba. I know people. I know also some guys from here. I used to interact with them. Okay, but if I go, if I spend like 1 year or 2 months or 3 month, then it means I will lose all the connection, and that is true because environment play the roles. There is nothing that play the roles. If you are environment, then you may interact with the people who are environment. But when you leave, everything is going to be different. It is also the same thing with you. You have been in Juba. Now, the connection that you have been in Juba since you was here, it has now lost totally. So you don't have that connection. Now, if you come back from Egypt again to Juba, then it means that you need to start fresh. Okay, you start from scratch, and these
Exactly.
things will cost you a lot of time. It will cost a lot of things from you. So how do you think that you will interact with the peoples if you are not coming to South Sudan? And how long do you think that somebody is going to spend, like in Egypt? Will you spend like 2 years after graduations, or will you just come back after you graduated? I don't understand this scenario. Maybe you can say something about it. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thank you. These are two questions, and I'll begin with the first question: why many people do not want to come back to South Sudan, those who are in Egypt. Mm, the simple answer I can give here is that Egypt, economically, Egypt is different from South Sudan, and it is better. In Egypt, people do not struggle to get food. They do not struggle to get water. They do not struggle for transport. It's easy. The only thing you cannot afford in Egypt is to be able to be a responsible man to help people in South Sudan. But if you are someone who only focus on yourself, who do not have a responsibility at home, and who do not want to take any responsibility at home where you help your family, you only work for your own, for yourself, then Egypt is the best country for you. If you are that person, if you are that man who do not want responsibilities at all, then Egypt is the best country for you. Because why? Egypt here, no matter what, you will get what to eat. You cannot Why? Because they will be able to get what to eat. They will be able to get the clothes to wear. They will be able to access the transport and go to wherever they want to travel to within Egypt. But there is no single coin that they will invest for tomorrow. You go to work, and what you get out of work will be used on clothing, renting, food, and yes, class. This is it. It's as if the economic of Egypt is programmed in that way. It's programmed in a way that anyone will be able to work and will be able to get something out of the work that he or she does. And then what you get from this work will be consumed by the food and the renting only, nothing else. So life in Egypt, it's just simple in that way. You will be able to get what to eat, you'll be able to get what to wear, you look good on Facebook, cameras, or every day. But there's nothing you're investing at all for your own in the future. It's not there at all. You see? So just know that people who do not want to go back to the country, who stays in Egypt, are people who fear the life in the country because they are 100% sure if they go to the country, they'll be struggling for what to eat. There is no food. But here in Egypt, they can get it at that. I've seen a lot of people going back to South Sudan, and then maybe after some 2 to 3 months, they come back to Egypt because it's hard getting food at home. It's hard getting something for transport, which is cheap in Egypt. So it's simple that life in Egypt is cheaper, and people who refuse to be at home and struggle, they'll come to Egypt and enjoy the life here. Yeah, this is the simple answer I can give on that. And then coming to the second question. Can you remind me of the second question? Sorry.
Yeah. The second question is about is about the connection. Sometime you may be you may be in
Oh yeah, I got
Juba.
it. Yeah, I got it.
You may be in Juba, then you lost all.
I understand. Yeah. Yes, actually, this is what I can say. This is something that is a bit more of science. I can put it that way. It's ecological. The more you stay with someone every day, the more you talk to someone every day, the more you remain close and connected. But once you part ways, where you go to your own country and the other one is in a different country, it will be very hard to see yourself and it will be very hard to communicate. And as a result, the bond that was between you will reduce. It will not be like when you are together. This is why I am saying it's more of psychology. It's something, once you are used to someone, once you stay with someone every day, it will be very hard to forget that person, especially when you stay together. But in a situation where you're staying in a foreign country, that person does not see you commonly, you do not interact commonly. It's hard. It's simple to lose the connection in that way. And once you leave the country,
that you lost all?
You are likely to get new friends.
Does this mean that you lost all the girlfriends that you have been dating?
And as a result, you start to the new connections. So you may even end up making building a connection again with people whom you were connected before. You see, because the more you stay for too long, the more you forget each other. It's common, unless you're people who keep connection, who keep on talking, who keep on being on the channel always. This is what I can say. It's easy to lose connection. Even within Juba right now, you can lose connection with someone who is in a wheel because you do not see that person commonly and you don't commonly talk to that person. So it's easy to lose connection with someone that is not staying with you, someone that is not in connection, who does not speak to you always. So this is all I can say. And I understand, this is a problem to those of us who have been here for the last 4 to 5 years. Building a connection in the country will be another business. We will need to introduce ourselves to many people, given the fact that South Sudan is a country where connection is the most important and the powerful tool. If you are not connected, you will not have what to eat unless you have connection. So it is another journey, it's another struggle. As we go back to the country, 2027, we will have a lot to do. You focus on building your career, practicing in the hospitals, and then also on the other hand, you're making connections outside with your fellow South Sudanese because this is what helps in the country. So yeah.
Okay, Dr. Ngong, does this mean that you lost all the girlfriend that you have been dating? Let me say in form of in terms of girlfriends. Does it mean that you have been in a relationship with some ladies here in Juba? So now you are now in Juba spending 4 years or 6 years for studies. So that this mean that you lost all the connections, even all all the ladies that you have been in a relationship with, or what does it mean?
No, yeah. And by the way, I don't know if you'll agree with me or not, but I do not have ex right now. I only have one girl that I was dating. Then as you know, we're not together. We're no longer together, and yeah, this was the first and another one. But I'm not this man who is always in yeah, you know, who who bring many girls together. Okay, I have friends. I have a lot of friends. When it's friendship, almost 60% of my friends are girls, but they are not my lovers. So I've lost connection with most of my friends who are girls, but not girl lovers.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ngong. You have really tell us a lot of culture and also the negative impact of scholarship and so forth. This is a good thing, of course, and I appreciate that we have people that are also mindful about the culture and also they are mindful about interactions because interaction is one of the best thing that you can use as a student and exposure. So you need to expose yourself so that other people will also see you. And I have looked that you did a great thing, of course. The time you have been a chairperson, you did a lot of things. You have also exposed yourself to other South Sudanese that you may not know. But since you become the leader of this entity, you happen to expose yourself and you have known a lot of people right there, which is a good thing indeed. Yeah. Now
Sure.
let us come to academic. In Egypt, you said a point, and that point was all about the Arabic being the mandatory language that you need to know. And if you don't know Arabic, then it will be a big problem for you. And I don't know which language do they use when they teach you. Sometimes it is really very hard to understand foreign language or the language that you did not learn. And if you know in medicines like the one that you are doing right now, it is very hard for you to understand those explanations in Arabic and so forth. And how do you manage to understand up to the time that you are in now? Maybe you are now in fifth year. So how did you manage that? Did you learn some Arabic and then you went forward? This is one. The
Mhm.
second one is a fairness in educations. Is there a fairness in educations? Do they value foreigners more than Egyptians, or do they value Egyptians more than foreigners? We have some of the countries. Sometimes they don't give relevant knowledge to students, but they give knowledge to their own, and this is a jealousy, by the way. And I don't know if Egypt is doing such a thing, and if it is doing such a thing, you can also tell us. And if you are really learning a quality work, that will be a nice thing, and I appreciate. So these are the things that I want to
Okay.
ask, and thanks.
Okay. Thank you very much. Uh, the language of communication in Egypt in all the colleges is Arabic. And then one good thing is that when the exam comes, it is done in English. And one funny thing about Egyptian, something we even do not understand right now, is that they are not able to speak, but they are able to write English. This is one funny thing and the truth about Egyptian students. They cannot speak English, but they can write in exams because exams are given in English. Only explanation that is done in Arabic. And yes, they prioritize their students over international students, unless it's a university that offers international system for international students. But in many universities, the language of communication is Arabic. And this is done to help their own children. And this is what any other country in the world can do if they are able to use their own language in the syllabus. Then this is the same language that will be used for communication to favor the student from that particular country. This is if they prioritize their own student over other students. How I and my colleague made it to go through, it's more of the hard work and being consistent. We normally attend 2 lectures. You'll go to class, sit in class where you don't pick anything from the doctor because the language of communication is Arabic. And then you come home and be able to assess the same lecture that was given in class in Arabic. You attend on YouTube, get to understand on YouTube from doctors. There's so many doctors we subscribe to, and we do listen to the lectures. And this is how we've been trying all along from the first year up to where we are today. Some of us have already graduated with this same method. This is how we've been doing it. It's more of a self-study. What makes it different is that especially in the College of Medicine where I am, and this is the most difficult part actually. In most of the hospitals we go to, it is really hard to interact with the patients because if you go to the hospital on clinical practices, you will be expected to interact with the patients, get to take the history from the patients, make the relevant medical examinations on the patient, and present all your findings to the doctor for the proper diagnosis of the disease. This is something that should be done in Arabic actually, and because we have problem with Arabic, it's hard doing this. It's hard at all, and in most cases, we will try to find an Egyptian colleague who will be able to help and translate. If that student understands some English, you'll be able to ask your patient what you want to ask from the patients, and then your friend will be able to translate into Arabic that the patient understand, and therefore you collect the information from there. But what you cannot do is the examination, the physical examination, because to come to the proper diagnosis always, you must always take the history orally and then again try to do the examination. This is where you will be able to include and exclude some diseases as you are trying to narrow down the diagnosis. This is a major challenge that we face in most of the Egyptian hospitals. Sometimes patients may reject black men that we're not supposed to do anything to them. Even taking history, it's hard. They'll be like, no. And it's patient right in medicine, it's patient right to reject the doctor. It's patient right to choose who is supposed to do this and who is supposed to do this to him or her. If they reject me, that they choose a cult, you'll be the one to go, and I go peacefully. You see, this is something that is there. When we were doing obstetric and gynecology that is dealing with the women, it was really hard. We couldn't pick anything at all from there. We couldn't be allowed to go to the maternity home where the women are giving birth and other important stuff. They will not allow you. If they are able to see you, they will not allow you to enter into the room. Sometimes even the Egyptians may not be allowed, the male Egyptians. Sometimes they only allow female to enter into the room, the maternity room, and deal with the women, learn from the doctors, and witness how the baby is being born from the first to the last stage. So these are the challenges that we face, those who are actually doing medicine here. But by the end of the day, we end up picking because we will be able to also sit and listen from the doctors and see, get the explanation, how the things being done and all this. So it's more of theory, but we understand. This is all I can say. We understand theory better, and the more you understand theory, the more it will be very easy when you go to the hospital later in practice. Because in our country right now, South Sudan, we will be exposed to the hospital, we will be exposed, we will have a lot of work to do. But if we go without theory, it will be very hard because it is what you know theoretically. that you put out practically. So this is the major challenge that we face here today. We have problem with the language and the culture where men are not allowed to do anything on women. So yes, this is it.
Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Ngong. Indeed, you talk about fairness in education and also how Egyptians are also treating international students, people like you, people like other peoples that are coming from Africa. And I have to say that Egyptian scholarship happened also in Ireland. They used to take a student from Africa. I don't think that if there are students from the West that come to Egypt for scholarship and so, I don't think, but it is only the black Africans. So these are the people that are suffering with Egyptians. But good enough that there are things that you guys are finding, and there are things that you peoples are also getting, and they are good, which is the nice thing, of course. Yeah. Now let me come back to financial status of the students. For examples, how does it feel when you go to scholarship and then the source of the finance become burden? Sometimes you don't have somebody who will pay for you. And let's say for government students that has been sponsored by the government, and I know that government of Egypt is the one that is in direct contact with the South Sudanese government for the scholarship of the students. And you know, they used to take students from here to Egypt, and after some time, you may find somebody has dropped out because of the many conditions. Some of the things include finance. Some of the things include a lot of things. So I don't know if there is issues regarding finance. How does it look to continue studying without backup from the family or backup from the government? Because I used to hear that this scholarship, when you are awarded a scholarship, then you will be given money after a month. You'll be given $500. No, I mean $200, and after a month, they just make it like that as for motivation. I don't know if this thing is still there, but I heard this a long time ago that this practice is still in the place. So is it still there, and how suffering are you guys there? Because I know that if there is no finance, you may not manage to go to schools all the time. You may not manage to do other things, buying clothes and doing other things. And how do you manage all these things with
Sure.
also other work around? Yeah, how do you manage your studies? Then sometime at night you go and work there in the shop or in the restaurants or any other work that you see is going to give you the ratio. So how do you guys manage all this?
This is a good question. The most important thing to go on well in academic, you must be strong financially. And if you do not have a backup, especially from your family, it will really be very hard to deal with some other problem that may face you on the way as you are going on with your studies. Egypt is actually a country where if you are not supported at home, especially if you are taking a course like medicine, you are taking a course like petroleum engineering, then it will really be very hard to deal with some of the things. Lando, you do not have that time to go and work outside and cater for your own. But I can say that there are students right now who are self-dependent. Since they came to Egypt up to today, they have never got any support from the family, and they are still pushing. They are still going well with the studies. This just depends on the course you are taking. If you're taking a course that allows you to also work outside, especially courses that where the coverage, the work is not that much, then you can work. Yes, there are opportunities you can work, and as well you are studying because university is not like a primary school, not like secondary school, where you attend for almost 7 days in a week. You can be attending like 3 days in a week, 3 days in 7 days, 3 days in 7 days in other colleges. You can work, you can have what to do outside, and then help yourself. In a college like medicine, you you can go like 5 days in a week. 5 days out of 7 days, it's not easy, and the work that you also need to come and sit to cover is a lot, and as a result, it's really not allowing us to get what to do. But yes, there are chances you can work and help your own, because I know there are students who are struggling and they want to help themselves and cater for what to eat and pay for the rent outside. They have that. This is what I can say. But still, financial support from the family is very important. If you really want to focus on the studies, you must be having the support you're getting from your family. This is where you will be able to sit and focus and learn. Yeah, this is what I can say when it comes to finance. And then coming to another day, second. Oh, yeah, come on. Welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. Ngong. You've really said something which is really good, and most of the people, this is what they are. This is what they want to listen to. Sometimes, what do you want to tell the families that sends a child to Egypt or to some of the places, and then after some time they used to cut funding, okay? Because we have these families. Sometimes they cut funding with what they hear from other people. Maybe they will hear that your son is working, he's now having a lot of money, and you don't need also to send money also again. Okay, we have these families, and then unfortunately they cut funding to the child. So how, what do you want to tell these families? Because it is really a wide practice. I have my friends who went to Egypt some time back, and the funding has been cut because they heard that he's working in the bakery, okay, and this working in the bakery, he was working there to get some of the money that he has to pay for renting, some of the money that he pay for
Sure.
handout, okay. This is not the money that we have to take into account, but the family have cut funding because of this. So does this mean that you don't need to do any other work if you are in Egypt, because the family may cut this funding? Or I don't understand what is really a big problem to the family. So what do you want to tell such a family that cut funding when they send their sons and daughters out of the country?
Okay. Yeah. Thank you. This was the second question you asked, and I will begin by answering the question whether government pays the student or not. Yes, actually, the payment that the government do to most of the students here in Egypt is not something that's constant. It's not something that comes every month. But it's not everyone who is studying in Egypt that is being paid by the government. The only scholarship batch that is getting something from the government right now is the batch of 2022 to 2023, which is the last one. We did not receive any another scholarship offered to South Sudanese again, apart from the last one that was offered in 2022 to 2023. These are the students who are getting 1,000 Egyptian pounds per month right now, but not all of us. I came in 2021 to 2022. By then, it was not approved, it was not agreed that the students in that particular batch should be paid. Those who came before are not paid. This 1,000 Egyptian pound, if I am to convert this into dollars right now, probably it would be around 20 or $18, probably 20. Let's say 18 to $22, because the rate of dollars right now in Egypt is 4,000 something. So this is 20 something dollars, which is less. It's nothing at all. Just assume you are given $20 today in South Sudan. What is that $20 going to do? Definitely nothing. This is the same thing here. It's 1,000 Egyptian pound that is being given to the student, not $200. The last time students were given $200 was 2020, before we even came to Egypt. And this was during coronavirus, where there was lockdown. The government was able to pay the student, each student was able to get $200. By then, there were not many students in Egypt. So this was the last time students were paid $200. Now, let me come back to the question of parents who stopped supporting the children because they've heard that the government is paying their student, or the student working, and as a result, they will be able to cater for their own. One thing that our families at home should know is that most of the students are not in the hostel. And even if you are in the hostel, you will still need to pay something in the hostel. Hostels are not free. And this is not part of the scholarship that was agreed. The MOU that was signed does not include accommodation, does not include the payment done to the student, apart from the budget that I told you before. What you are free from is the tuition fees. Like me today, I don't pay tuition, but I pay for where I stay. I pay for my accommodation. Whether I am in the hostel or I am outside, I will be the one to pay for my accommodation and feeding. So this is the difference. If your child is here and you think is working, or maybe you've had the child is working, there is nothing they actually get from there, and there's nothing helpful they get out of this. These are children who do not get enough support at home. What they only get is for the accommodation, maybe, or for the feeding. But things like buying clothes and other stuff, it's another thing that many students are lacking here because they don't have that support. And as a result, you will be working during holidays outside. So this is it.
Okay,
And
now,
families should not stop supporting the
yeah,
children.
now, Dr. Ngong, we have a question here, a question from our brother Joel Tok. He's asking that are you disputing that that Egyptians are not taking organs from the patients in South Sudan if they go? So he's saying that what you said earlier, I think you have depended earlier, but this is the question that he's asking. Are you disputing that people in Egypt, I mean the doctors in Egypt, they are not taking organs from the patients if they visit? Maybe you can elaborate more on that.
Yes, if he's listening, I think he must be listening right now.
Yes.
Okay. The simple answer is that it is not legal in Egypt. It is not legal that organs are taken in the hospitals. Most of the hospitals that we go to are private hospitals. Some are university hospitals. And we know there is what we call accreditation, universities accreditation every year that takes place. Accreditation is done based on the performance, how you've been going on, all that you've been doing throughout the year. Now, if there are records of things like taking organs from patients, if this case was done in that particular hospital, I think the government will take responsibility to do something to this particular hospital, whether it's private or whether it's a government hospital or even a university hospital. They will do something to this particular hospital. So one thing I can say is that it is not legal. And if it is done in Egypt, they just know that it was done by criminals, because there are criminals too. There are criminals in every country. But it's not legal in Egypt, and it's not common. I am one of the people who used to believe that Egypt is a bad country, and Egyptian doctors take organs from patients, especially the foreign patients. But I came to learn that it's not there at all. It's not there. It's only practiced by the criminals.
Okay. Now, Dr. Ngong, what do you want to tell people who want to go to Egypt? Let me say, they have a passion to go and study there in Egypt. And you said some of the point that sometimes discourage people from going to Egypt. One of the things that discourage the most is the culture that you may encounter when you go to Egypt. And you said a lot of cultural practice that we used to see, including racism. We see that Egyptians are racist. This is what we need to take into consideration. And this is the Arabs' ideology that they always apply. Of course, if you go to America, if you go to any other countries of the West, there is nothing like this discriminations. Of course, it has been there a long time ago, but this racism today is not being practiced widely. And I don't know why Egypt is still practicing such a racism. So I want you to also to tell us, I mean, to people who are now planning to go to Egypt for further studies, so that they should be aware about the Egypt and about the academic. And you said one thing which is really better hard and is better complicated, and that thing which is very complicated is about the language itself. And language play a vital thing in studies and academic. And sometimes if you don't understand the language, you will get lost. You will not understand anything. So what do you want to tell them? Do you so that they should be aware about the learning environment in Egypt?
Okay. Mm, for those who have interest in coming to Egypt to study, the first thing I want to say is actually, if South Sudan is being offered a lot of scholarship programs by many countries, and then it become your choice. It become your choice to choose which country will you go to. I think 90% of South Sudanese students will not choose to come to Egypt. This is all I can say. But because we are offered a scholarship, and if you turn it down, if you say, I don't want to go to Egypt because Egypt is said to be a country that is speaking Arabic and there are a lot of other cultural irregularities that will not go well with me, then you will not have any other scholarship to get again. But if there are choices, if there are a lot of choices where there is a scholarship to South Africa, scholarship to Zambia, scholarship to other countries that speak English, definitely no one will choose to come to Egypt. But because this is the opportunity that is available to us, the one and only, this is why we have to come. I'm not saying this because Egyptians are bad people, but it's because of the system that is in Egypt. The system in Egypt does not actually go well with most of us, especially those of us who started at home in South Sudan, especially in the states level, because we come with a very weak foundation in academic and also in the language. Given the current situation in Egypt right now and security status, I cannot advise anyone to come to Egypt right now. At my personal level, I cannot advise anyone to come to Egypt unless there is no any other choice. If there is no choice at all, then yes, you can come because there are people who have been there and they've been managing. So you can come. You can also manage as long as people are there and they have managed the situation. You can also manage. But yes, things are not easy. You've had for the last 1 week, I mean, for the last 2 weeks, they've been arresting people. And indeed, this is their right. It is the right of Egypt to arrest foreigners who live in the country without valid visa, without the passport. It's very important. It can also happen in our country, South Sudan, if there is that law. We can arrest Ugandans, we can arrest Kenyans, we can arrest South Africans who live in our country without making the legal processes. This is the right, but right now it's out of law. Things that they do, they're not supposed to do them to us, but because we're black Africans, they just do things that are unlawful. You may find out that they break into your house without even taking permission. They will ask for, especially maybe the landlord. They come into your room, They break the end of just to come and find out whether you have valid visa or not. And then where on the wall can you break into someone's house? Or where can you go into someone's house to find out whether this person is having valid document or not? Unless you find them on the way. This is why you ask them. But right now it's different right here. So I can say things are changing. The relationship between South Sudan and Egypt is actually getting worse day by day, and I've seen situation are not like before.
What is
advise
embassy saying
right now.
about what is embassy saying about this? Because since people are being targeted, and if they are being targeted, then the embassy should also roll in and find out the solution. Of course, as you said that, then what you said is that when the security personnel just go into the house and find out who is there, maybe they are black or they don't have legal document, then this is not a real.
Met with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, and it was agreed that there is going to be an extension of 2-month period for those who do not have valid visas and passport to start the processes and finish them within that 2-month period. Then after that, whoever that will be caught again without the valid document will be arrested and will be deported back home. So the embassy is working on this, yes.
Okay, now the final questions, Brother Ngong, is that I want to know why did you choose to study abroad? And since we have many universities in South Sudan, so we have University of Juba, we have Upper Nile University, we also have many universities in South Sudan. If you want to learn medics, you'll get from there. Like University of Juba is offering all this. Yeah, Upper Nile University is also offering the same thing. So what inspired you to go to Egypt and learn there? Is it because of the quality of the educations? Do you assume that in University of Juba you will not learn, or what is the issue? Why did you choose to study abroad?
Yeah, thanks for this question. This question actually, it's question most of the Egyptian have been asking us. They've been asking that why did you come to Egypt? Why didn't you study in your own country? Don't you have a college of medicine? We've been getting this question, and at my personal level, actually, when I decided to come to Egypt in 2021, I was already admitted in Juba University because I've already applied. I was trying to submit in 2 different universities. I applied for Egyptian scholarship, and as a result, I happened to be admitted. When I got the admission in 2021, I had not to follow up with the admission that I got from Juba University because I consider the quality education, given the fact that I am taking medicine. I believe medicine can be done better in a country like Egypt. And yes, you can see that today most of the graduates from Egypt, they are doing better in Juba. I'm not trying to underrate the medical schools of Juba University, but Egypt is far better than most of the medical schools in East Africa.
What make it far better?
This is all I can say.
What make it far better? Yes.
The system. Egypt is a country. It's an old country, and it's a country that has been practicing medicine even during ancient time. And as a result, they have explored medicine, and they have really gone far. And this is what made Egypt so special. If you come to Egypt today, there are Indians, there are other nationalities that come from West, there are other nationalities that come from Asia to study in Egypt. I think Egypt is one and the only country in Africa that is hosting other nationals that come from West and Middle East to study medicine. This is why I mean it's because of the system of medicine in Egypt that attracts the interest of other nationals to come from other countries in the West, particularly the Indians. We have a lot of Indians here who are studying medicine. And across Africa, this is where they come to study medicine, regardless of their language. Regardless of their language, they still choose to come to Egypt because of the good medical system that is here in Egypt.
But I see many South Sudanese going to India. They say that India is the one that having advanced hospitals and so forth. But I don't know what is the logic behind all this. Why do we have also some of the Indian coming to Egypt to learn?
Yeah, this is what we were also asking, because India is believed to be far better. Yes, and indeed, India is better. India can be better than Egypt. But I mean, I don't understand. Most of the students come from India. They come and study here in Egypt. So it's just like that. Egypt is actually good too. When it comes to medicine, I can say Egypt is competing with the Western world. It's really doing better in medicine. This is all I can say.
Okay. Finally, let us end this program. And I want to ask the final question so that we go and do other things. I can see it is really too cool right there, and you're wearing light clothes. So it might have affect you now. And I'm sorry for that. I want to say that
Sure, sure.
what is your general advice to students that are studying abroad? So we have people studying in Morocco, people studying in different part of the world, and especially the moment that they don't want to come back when when they graduate, they don't want to come back to South Sudan. So they just want to be there. If they are doing something, then they have to be. We have now students who are in America. They have been there for long. We have students from Australia and a lot of places. When you find this, it is really making negative impact to South Sudan. And South Sudan need such human resource. We need people like you. When you get the knowledge, then you need to come back and showcase the knowledge. Help people who need medical attentions and other people who need help from you. So you need to do those things. But it comes to our attention that when we take students outside of the country, sometimes they don't come back. They used to end up there. Some people die, uh, they always die there. They don't want to come back. They spend 20 years, 10 years. They even marry from there. So what is the advice that you want to tell these students who have went to those places using a scholarship?
I think I will. The truth is this, and I know, especially the victims, those who have refused to go back to the country, will not be happy to hear this. But the truth is that if you are really a student who have left your family home, your father, your mother, your relatives at home, and you were sent out to go and come with a change, to come and change the family, if you are that student, I don't see any reason of remaining in a foreign country after the graduation. The students who fail to go back to the country. Another category are those who believe that the country is not helpful in any way. The country is not supporting the graduates, the fresh graduates. These are the people who also choose, even after the graduation, to remain here. And I have my friends, those who have done well, those who have graduated successfully with good grades, but they choose to remain in Egypt because there is no hope in the country. So it is into two. It's either you're hopeless that the country will not help you in a way, there's no job opportunities for the graduates, or you are a dropout, you lost the scholarship, and you don't want to be honest to your family. These are the people who take the reckless journey sometimes to live here, trying to cross. They want to go Western world. So yeah, this is it. The advice I can give is that please, we are a country with a low socioeconomic status, and we have very weak, very poor families at home that really put their hope on us. If we happen to come to a country like Egypt and other countries outside, it's very, very important for us to focus on the studies, to focus on the studies and make sure that you graduate, go back home, try to do something. Even if the country of South Sudan is not giving us hope, it's better you be in your country rather than being in a foreign country where you are not the priority, where you're being mistreated. So it's better, even if you lost the scholarship, it's better you go and be with your family at home. There are so many things we can do. Even if government is not helping the citizen in any way, there are so many things we can do to live. So this is an advice I can give to those who choose to remain in foreign countries. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ngong, for telling us all the things that you said, and we really learn a lot from you. I also learned some of the cultural practice of the Egyptians. This is a good thing, and we wished also to inform us a lot in advance when we are going to initiate also another program like this. Then this is a good thing indeed, yeah, and we really thank you for that. And I will give you only 1 minute if you have something that you want to say also to the public. Then so that they will listen to you and we will end up the program. Just only 1 minute. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much for the last chance too. I am someone who is practicing medicine, and my advice always, wherever I am, whenever I am given an opportunity to speak or to say something in a minute or even 30 seconds, what I will communicate will be something that is medical, something related to the health. What I will always tell my people is that mm, let's take screening as an important thing. Going to the hospital to find out your health status is a very important thing. Those of us who have been in the College of Medicine, we understand how important it is by having learned different diseases that hide in us, diseases that do not show up. We are able to understand better than any other person outside there that it's important you find it out at the earlier stage, because I've seen a lot of cases, witnessed a lot of people dying, a lot of people being admitted today and then tomorrow they die, and people will report the person has been having the heart problem or cardiac arrest, the heart failure. This is something that develops gradually. You and if you are able to go for screening, you will be able to find out the diseases that they And the good news is that there is a vaccination for hepatitis B. I advise each one of us to at least go for checkup, confirm you're free from an infection, and then take the vaccination. So this is all I can say. And yeah, thank you very much. And happy to be here today with you. And we'll meet again next time.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much, brother Dr. Ngong, for the conversation. It
Okay.
was really a long conversation. Thank you. Thank you.
Okay. Bye. Good day.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ngong, for elaborating more on the issues that we are facing, and also our country really need to work on all these things, and these things of the scholarship. We need also to review the scholarship and see how our students are going through. Sometimes we might be sending students outside the country, and if we send them outside the country, we might be seeing that they don't come back. Some people end up from there. So we need to understand what is happening and how are we going to bring these people back home, because they are the source of the country. And if they learn the knowledge from the foreign land, that knowledge will be will benefit South Sudan's in another way around. So I thank you guys for tuning in, and also to those people who made their own questions to ask my guests and ask all the guests about Call Podcast. This is a support indeed, and we really thank you so much for taking your time to follow Call Podcast, and also call me in. This is a good thing, and I wish to bring anyone. If you have a feeling also to have a discussions with me, you need just to invoke me. Okay, but it's not me to call you that we need to have a discussion. Since you first to have interest, then we come and make a discussions. Because I may not know whether you have interest or you don't have interest, but I can just say let us have a discussion. But it's you first to have that feeling of discussion. You just invoke me, and then we will go forwards to make a discussion. So thank you guys for the support, and I wish that we can meet next time when we are going to bring another program like this. And this program has really made a lot of things. And this program is one of the program that we need to bring all the time so that we learn from it and we bring such type of people like brother Dr. Ngong. What he says is really true, because in Egypt we have a lot of culture, and this is a bad culture that is now affecting our students. Our students now, some of them are suffering, and some of them also they quit schools because of such a thing. And if we advise them, if we are aware of them, I think they will leave all these issues and they will focus on these schools. So my advice also is that you need to come back to South Sudan if you have finished your studies. And if you don't finish your studies, you need to continue with your studies. You need to continue with your studies and do better. So after you finish, you need to come back. You need also to come and help your people, the people that you left when you have gone. So thank you so much, my people, for supporting a call podcast all the time. I wish we shall meet next time when we are coming. Thank you and bye bye from now.